um, be starting momentarily.
And you're live, Jeff.
Wow, we are live. It's Jeff Pulver. Welcome to another edition of the Creator Economy. And wow, it's March. This is a crazy year in many different ways, but I will not get into politics. I'll just say thank you for being here. And this is this is a show I've been looking forward to for a while, ever since ever since these two people, my two guests said yes, both Scott and Kim said yes. I knew that we're gonna have a very interesting show for us. Just to recap, the Creator Economy is brought to you by me, Jeff Pulver, by my sisters Lauren and Harry, and currently our major sponsors are the Color Purple, the numbers 1 and 8 for life, and the letters LOVE, which I think the world can use a lot more of these days. Coming up in our world is Von 3 conference. Spring Von 3 will be taking place April 25th to 27th. And the first day of the conference, our pre-con, is all about creators and creativity and the creator economy and what does it mean and where's it going. And it's a lot of things are starting to catch up. Oh wow, I see old old friends are just coming in the audience. It's nice to see you all. So today's show, when we're talking about art and NFTs, and when we're talking to someone who is CEO of a company which is one of the first companies. I'd say they are like the Wix for Web3, although it's much more. I don't want to say that they're Wix, but they're finally I found starting to see companies come into the fold where NFTs can be used to not only gate content but actually provide real access to information in a meaningful way, and I find that particularly exciting. So if you are interested in being a future guest on this show, please email. You could always email jeff@pulver.com and let me know you're interested. Always looking to have creators involved and anyone in the creator ecosystem. And for those of you who are planning on coming and joining us at Spring Von 3, I have I'm about 70% done curating the conference content, and I've taken advice. And the next conference there will be some stretch time, and I've incorporated Zula into the content so that each day we will have 20 minutes or so of networking, random networking, but a chance to really get to meet the people. Once again, we'll have speakers from across 8 different time zones joining us. And really, it's eclectic and at the same time fun, and it just should be a wonderful conference. I enjoy curation, and Spring Von 3 is going to be fun. So I'd like to bring a first guest. Scott's joining. Scott Oppenheim, who's an NFT artist. Someone I happen to be in an NFT accelerator, and I'm just really fascinated with creativity and art and the whole creative process. And so, Scott, welcome to the Creator Economy. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Thank you for joining us. Could you share a little bit about yourself and your inspiration to create?
Yeah, I'm a UX and UI designer based out of Northern Virginia, and I've been creating digital art for maybe close to 20 years. And I like golf, skiing, judo, and I have a nice dog, Emma. And more recently, I just got involved in the NFT space again after taking a little bit of a break from my digital art for a little while.
With your art that you're doing, do you have certain types of art that you decided to bring into the NFT side, or is it like what inspires you to create?
The inspiration, I've just always been creative. I'm an artist at heart and, went to school for design. So I've made a full career out of being a full-time designer. And during one of my jobs, maybe 15, 16 years ago, during some research, I came across some artists doing generative art, and I just fell in love with the whole concept and medium of creating randomized or algorithmic art based off, predefined set of code. And it's become a hobby ever since for the last 15 years. And I just love doing it.
So you mean generative art is not like a product of the Web3 world? I mean, it existed prior to Web3 coming into the vanilla?
That's what I was surprised by when I got into the NFT space a few months ago, and I kept seeing the term generative art pop up over and over again. It was fascinating that a lot of it was referring to like these PFP projects, but having been in the generative art space for so long, it's always had kind of a different meaning to me.
So for people who don't know what PFP stands for, could you please define it?
I guess that's primary. Oh shoot, now I forget. It has two definitions. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, primary like photo or profile picture.
So if it's primary photo profile picture, okay. So that would be PPP. I never quite figured out how the naming for it matched up to the letters for it.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I've heard it referred to as two different things.
But usually, what you are referring to are the way that certain people, let's say in social media, are using photographs, say from OpenSea or from the Bored Ape Yacht Club collection and stuff as their profile photos.
Yeah, I mean, they're fascinating, and I actually have a few myself. But just the generative art term and what I've been doing seems a little bit different, but it's actually quite fascinating how these characters and avatars are created using similar processes.
Yeah, I mean, because generative art goes back a long time ago. I mean, and even to generate art. I mean, if you were to do a lithograph or stereograph, in some ways, you could also say you're generating art in a certain process. So, I mean, how would you differentiate it? Are you saying because you use a computer?
Generative art, the way I refer to it, is basically algorithmic art. So you program, maybe it can be as short as a couple lines of code up to thousands of lines of code. And you really let the computer run the algorithm to determine the output. Some of my art in the past has been a combination of algorithmic and a human touch or controlling a mouse movement. My latest project lets the computer run. So it's a pre-programmed set of instructions, and then you run the sketch, it's done in processing, and that generates the artwork.
Interesting. I mean, because when I hear about generative art, I don't know why I go to Warhol, but like if Andy Warhol was still alive today, what was his? I would think his NFT collection would be a little bit different than what we've seen.
I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, he's a fascinating artist.
What I'm saying is that you might see some Campbell soup cans, but the way that the art is manifested, I just find fascinating the whole process. So as an artist, do you do screening? Like, how do you promote the work that you do? How do people know that you're an artist? How do you get out, and how do people discover the magic that makes you you?
I've never been really on the marketing side, so I'm just learning that. And as you mentioned, the Artist Accelerator that I've been a part of, Niftorious, it's been a great learning experience for me, not only from the idea generation for art and project inspiration, but also developing the marketing strategy and how you're going to post your NFTs, which platforms to post on. And I even recently set up an email marketing capture. So, I'm really trying to be social on Twitter. I joined some Clubhouse spaces and some Twitter spaces, but normally I'm pretty quiet in the background on the Twitter spaces. I like to listen and learn, but hopefully I get to that point where I feel comfortable, chiming in and speaking about my projects.
So from a tactical perspective, I noticed that you have a link for your art on Foundation versus OpenSea. What was the process like to get onto Foundation, and why Foundation versus something else?
When I started, the first platform I really learned about was OpenSea. So a lot of my first NFTs were posted on OpenSea, and during the NFT Accelerator program, I learned about Foundation and through some other artists and received an invite for that platform. And when I reached this point in my project that I was really happy with and had the idea of this collection, that I wanted to take the opportunity to mint my first project on Foundation, which I know is a limit, not exclusive, but there's a more limited, number of collectors or looking for specific types of artwork on Foundation. So that's why I decided to mint on Foundation.
I mean, I was just curious because I applied a while ago. I didn't get in, and then I didn't follow up. So I was just curious about that. And as far as but as an artist, my sister Michelle's a commercial artist. She does illustration and has been for almost 50 years. And she spent a long time building her career, building her reputation, and really taking on projects. And it's very challenging to to get discovered overnight. She's been doing this forever, and she's known in certain niches and not others. Even though I think her art can go across different genres. With your art, you as a digital artist, and doing generative art before it was cool, I'd say, because, well, not that it's not cool now, but you were doing it before other people recognized it as a thing. Is your inspiration for the art that you're creating today as a means to express yourself more, or are you looking to cash in on the NFT craze? Like, what is the driving force? Like, for me personally, I love astrophotography. I spent a number of years learning the craft of photographing the night sky. And there's a certain Zen moment when you're at peace with the world, where you can close your eyes and visualize and see the Milky Way, and be there at 4:04 in the morning when it's rising on a new moon. So there's no external light, and it's a beautiful moment in time, and it's something which I love to share. And lots of various celestial events I get really into in terms of awe-inspiring. And so for me, I sell my photography. I take the photographs really for me with the intention of sharing, but I'm not necessarily, I can't say that I'm driven because I'll make money from my art. I'm driven because I just want to take these photographs and have these awe-inspiring moments. I'm just curious from your side, being in the art world, like, are you now looking to, what do you have an approach that you're looking to cash in on more, or is it really a way of artistic expression and looking to just be seen, discovered, and appreciated?
I'll start out by saying if you make a couple bucks doing it, it's not a bad thing, right?
Not at all.
But I've been creating for, digital art for 20 years. And in the past, I've sold on sites like Curios.com and Society6. And these were kind of the economies that existed for artists in the past to sell on. And to be honest, I never really, sold much. I did get the opportunity to write for Computer Arts Magazine once, which was a tremendous and exciting opportunity. But I mean, even though I haven't sold any in 20 years, I just keep doing it because I love doing it. I have a classical drawing and color theory background from a private art school in Pennsylvania. And, when I'm not doing generative art, I'm drawing in my sketchbooks. It is, like you say, kind of a Zen moment to relax and take your mind off of work or other stressors in life and just kind of have some fun with it,
Well, look, I think creativity is one of those things that help us get through moments, get through the day, and really get through life. And it's that creativity that helps us see the future, and certainly find solutions to things, as well as just to express. And so I look, it's hard to be, some of the artists I know that are famous now, right? They're also in the career 20 plus years, but they were, quote, overnight success, but it took 20 years in the making. And same thing with music artists. It's like, you get famous for what you're doing, and no one really understands the lead time was every other day of your life until that moment. And then it's like, okay, well, you just got discovered, boom. And I like to think that, we have an opportunity to be both passionate in what we do, love what we do, and then find others who come and see what we're doing and appreciate it too, and to showcase it. I was offered a couple of times to do gallery events in Tel Aviv and in LA for my astro photos, and my schedule at the time was so damn busy I didn't say yes. Perhaps I should have. I just didn't say yes. And so So now I'm, looking to get discovered in a different way. Do you have advice to people who are creative at heart, who can design, who are naturally talented like yourself? Whether they should join do you think now is a good time to be a creator? Do you think now is a good time to be an artist?
I think so. And, I've seen a lot of successful artists, out there in the space. And I admire all the artists out there that have made a full-time career and really honed their skill and, made it a full-time thing. I never had that luxury, but, certainly the design industry is booming and, companies are recognizing the value in branding for sure. And, artists, I think art is always going to be appreciated no matter, whether it's 1,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago in the future, maybe. And I'm excited about the NFT space, because I was posting on Flickr and, Society6 and these other sites, and it was hard to get a reach. Or they're not as social, you're posting content, but it's hard to interact. And with this new technology and Zoom conferencing and Discord and Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse, I mean, it's really bringing the community together in a way that in the past I haven't really seen before. So I think it's an exciting time.
Yeah, and I am happy to say that the most popular use case for NFTs is digital art. That while there are many other use cases out there, it is artists who are getting recognized and are getting visibility and are getting seen. And so it's maybe a transitional time in the sense that people are being, people that are not necessarily art directors necessarily getting to see all sorts of art. And I think we have those moments every once in a while where magic happens. Say what you want about Napster, and I have both pro and cons about it, but before Napster got banned, I remember listening to music I never would have listened to. I remember sampling certain songs, not sampling, but just hearing bits and pieces of songs and discovering for my ears music that made me smile that I didn't know I was just ignorant of. And to some extent, when I scan through OpenSea and go through some of the NFT platforms, I'm discovering art that I like and types of art that I just didn't know that I liked. And so I like to think that there's a renaissance in design, a renaissance in our own ability to be to color outside the lines, if you will, to allow ourselves to rediscover magic. And so I'm pro creativity and really like the idea that we have another chance to be seen and to be heard. Scott, what is the best way for someone to reach out to you if they wanted to see your collections besides the links here? Is there any other way where you're showing your stuff these days?
I post a lot of my work on Twitter, which is my username is digital DG8TAL. So I can be found on Twitter. And then I plan on, I haven't released any yet, but through an email sign up on my website, which I think the link to my about page is posted in the chat. Hopefully I'll be communicating that way as well. But I think the best way right now is probably on Twitter.
Wonderful. And I, with that about link, that's actually a wonderful way to transition to our next guest, who has a platform where folks like yourself and who create NFTs and sell NFTs can provide gated access to all sorts of perks if someone who owns your NFT wants to now see what those perks are, because she has Kim's company is building is helping people natively create Web3 websites. Scott, I'll join you in a little bit. Thanks for joining the Creator Economy today. If you have questions for Scott, please put them into the chat. And in the meanwhile, I'd like to welcome our next guest to the show and say good afternoon I guess it's morning where you are. Good morning, Kim. How are you?
Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm good. How are you?
I am good. And I see my friend, one of my artist friends, Terrence from the UK is here today. And so could you share a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the company which you're CEO of?
Absolutely. So I started my career as a journalist. I've always been really passionate about storytelling and telling the stories really of those who might not otherwise have their stories told. And I ended up parlaying that into becoming a lawyer, kind of split my time between the corporate law world and the sort of social justice and equity world. And then at some point decided, it was time to go into recovery from the law and really wanted to.
So wait. So you're a lawyer. So you're California bar?
I'm a I'm still an active lawyer under the California bar. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And when I decided, I really wanted to jump over to the business side, I wanted to kind of merge the media storytelling side of my background with the sort of social justice equity side from my time as a lawyer. I ended up going to a company about 8 years ago where we were building direct to consumer businesses in partnership with creators and talent throughout the ecosystem. So everyone from, smaller YouTubers up through Tyler the Creator and the Kardashian Jenners. And I kind of quickly discovered those were really great businesses for, talent who could afford custom development and content teams, but not really accessible for the broader emerging creator ecosystem that was sort of trying to make a living from this new democratization of distribution. So I became really obsessed with, while I was there, with how do we really democratize access so that all creators who can find an engaged fan base can directly own their relationships with their fans, but also have the design and storytelling tools that they need to express their creative output in a way that feels good and ultimately be able to make a living from standing up what is essentially the new age decentralized fan club. So that's a lot of the roots of what you see in Tilly.
Wow. And I guess, I don't know. So it sounds like you said creator, but really sounded like influencers, that you were dealing with the influencer side before.
Yeah, really a kind of a range through influencers, creators, sort of everyone.
By the way, I'm not saying that influencer is not a creator. We have all these titles and labels and stuff. And
yeah.
so I need a dictionary of terms contextually with time to better understand what we mean at any moment in time. So, but okay, my take on Telly, based on going to your website and attempting to be an anonymous user from a mobile phone versus or website or the desktop, is that for somebody who creates NFTs and would like to offer perks, particularly let's say your name is Terrence and you're in the UK and you have some lovely music and a global fan base, and you decide to do an NFT because you know someone named Jeff who will help you get one going. Now you want to, and people buy those NFT with the idea of perks. What can someone do with if someone has an NFT in their wallet and they come to your site? If you are an artist, what types of things do you offer artists to offer their fans?
Yeah, they can do everything from gate exclusive content, exclusive merch drops, ticket sales, you sort of name it. The way that we've built the platform is you can stand up essentially a link in bio site portfolio in minutes for every release or drop. You can embed virtually every Web2 platform that you rely on today, as well as original content tools and other things. And then you can gate any one of those experiences. So what we heard from creators a lot is, I'm releasing new music I'm releasing a new single every month. And I had, 2 songs that hit the cutting room floor of my latest EP. I'd love to be able to package those together, add exclusive BTS photos, unreleased voice notes, gate that, and offer that up to my fans who support me. So we're really about using, as you said, NFTs as identity and access keys to unlock value in a creator's world and really unlock value that's tied to the day-to-day work a creator is doing and their creative output.
And let's say maybe you worked with a newspaper and you were a columnist and you had a community that you were actively curating for a long time, and you had you also sold NFTs, right? Then similarly, if you're a columnist and you have extra content, or for that matter, you wrote a book and you have extra chapters, you can use your website in a similar way. So to call you the would you like to be the Wix of Web3, or is that demeaning?
No, it's a big part of what we're doing, and we have great admiration for the Web2 site builders, and we think we're really built for modern creators to be able to sort of create a moat around their creative library, but also be able to power digital commerce as well.
And when you say power digital commerce, are you because I know who's in the audience here, for example, and I know what my own needs are. So from a from a content delivery perspective, it's the gating part that's the magic, right? It's having the, I mean, technically, does it matter? Does it matter where the NFTs are from, where the contracts are on? What I should say, what chains do you support currently? And what RFC type of, what type of NFTs are supported?
Yeah, so currently we support any Ethereum or Polygon contract. We're adding support for, Tezos, Flow, Solana, you name it, other chains as well. You can also gate multiple contracts into one gate. So we support multi contract token gating today. And then we'll also be really kind of helping build the bridge for folks by actually allowing creators to deploy their own creator-owned smart contracts directly on their sites, mint NFTs on those, and then be able to sell them to their fans directly on their personal sites so that their fans can buy NFTs directly in the context of unlocking value and content in a creator's world.
Do you provide any type of education so people who are listening to this we're here live, but also on a podcast, when they want to try to understand what we're talking about, for people who have to actually get set up to use their NFTs as a gateway for content, do you provide tutorials or what type of knowledge do you assume of your typical customer?
Yeah, we do provide tutorials and education. We're also really passionate about making it so easy that the education requirements decrease over the future. So today, of course, you need to be able to sort of do some navigation around having a wallet and figuring out how to deploy contracts and mint your NFTs, but we're going to make that all so easy directly on platform that we're really going to decrease those needs so that you don't actually have to care too much about the technology and what's going on in the background.
Well, I wish that you success. I can tell you that from my own experiences. So the community that I kind of connect with, or at least historically, has been people who pay to attend my conferences are baby boomers and Gen Xers, and I have reset my expectations of what to sell, how to sell, and how to explain. And given that you probably have multi generations coming to your site, do you message based on generation, or you like because I do think that even the words sometimes take on different meaning depending upon the age of the person reading them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we try to be kind of broadly inclusive in our language and our messaging. I think we haven't broken it down so far as sort of generational messaging.
I wouldn't say if you're a boomer, click here.
I don't know how many people would self-identify that way, but
well,
so
some people maybe, or an extra, there are people in the audience. And you may notice there's no Gen Yers watching this show right now, and so there's because I think the value is tremendous, like even logarithmically great, and being able to explain how the magic, because I think the value of what you're doing is much greater than perhaps people can appreciate, because you are unlocking a mystery to some. And let's face it, if I wanted to token gate my website with access to my own collection, I would have to spin out an instance, let's say on AWS, have some interesting code added to my site, which I do have, but to maintain it, it's a pain. It's like, why not use a service? And oh, by the way, what do you charge for your website these days for that?
We're free today.
So pay and learn, and then have to develop and go ahead and do that, or it's free. So there's this compelling idea that free comes with a price, but free right now is free, and it's just fascinating because from if we were to forget about the Web3 terms, right? Having a website where people can pay, people that are part of Keith's Keith's membership club. If membership have its privileges, Keith has a fan club. And if you're a member of the Keith fan club, he can use your site, and members can come in and gain exclusive Keith access. That's sort of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, that is a part of it. I think the other piece of it is we're actually really trying to be just a site builder in general that is more tailored to what creators need today. So the fact that you can kind of stand up something that's fully branded for every release or drop, it really is like the ease of a link in bio product with the depth of a site builder. So we're actually finding a lot of folks transitioning over to using us, even who have not yet dipped their toe into Web3. And we're really very passionate about then making it a lot easier for those creators to access Web3 and to be able to then create gated experiences on top of these open experiences. But to your point, in terms of marketing, what you'll get in a gated experience, we're setting our site up so that you can have ungated pages, even, in the future, you'll be able to have open pages and just specifically gated tiles within an open page so that you will be able to really use this to kind of promote what those gated experiences are.
Yeah, so that was a new term for me, link in bio, but that's like what Linktree is. And so, because I noticed a few startups are competing just against Linktree now, which I guess, I thought it was novel and interesting to be able to, click once and get a lot of links, but the functionality of what you're offering. So it's both, the site builder side, plus it's the gating, plus, and the other subtlety, which you did say, I did not comment, which is to help creators mint their own content, mint their own NFTs, which is another big thing. So I'm not suggesting that you're competing against OpenSea or your favorite dev shop that can help write a smart contract for you to do your own NFT deployment, but it's a big undertaking. How big is your company these days?
So we're about 15, and we have a just incredible product design and engineering team to undertake that big undertaking.
Wow, are you decentralized in your offices?
We're fully remote.
What excites you the most about the creator economy in 2022?
Really about getting more and more creators to be able to directly own their relationships with their fan bases in ways where they can then have an unbroken chain around that relationship and take those relationships to any new platforms that come online, making it much more accessible for more and more and more creators to be able to access this exciting new world in Web3 to reduce how intimidating it is to get on chain. I think that we're going to see a big explosion amongst mid to long tail creators in the next year.
And as far as from a customer support perspective, is it harder for you to explain the services you currently offer, or to listen to what the people want and realize you already do this?
Well, look, there's always a challenge when you offer a lot to make sure that people really clearly understand how you support.
Yeah, because you're multifaceted. You're a dessert topping and a floor wax. Never tasted so great. And by the way, my floor's never been so clean. Yes, you do all of it.
Yeah, so that's always getting it to be incredibly specific to that use case is really the key.
And so from a product growth perspective, are you if you had a chance to have more users or add more features to your platform, what would you take?
Well, gosh, we're very excited. As we said, the next big initiative is around bringing more creators on chain. So that's really incredibly important.
Sorry, on chain. Are you going to have your own chain?
No, we will be allowing them to deploy their own creator-owned smart contracts, mint NFT collections, and then sell them to their fans. So really bringing more people into the space is our focus in the near term, but we're also excited to support more and more ways to fund and support your favorite creators as well.
So I have, I don't know, 150 different music artists that have come to my music show on Thursdays. One or two of them may be in the audience here right now. And if I wanted to help explain to them the magic that's now available, that they can now enter this Web3 world without a passport, really. They just have to invest a little bit of time to go to a site and create. How much time is needed, do you think, for someone to get familiar and comfortable with your platform? And how exactly would you tell these creators what you do? Because they don't understand the terminology. We can't use buzzwords in plain English, because not everyone even speaks English as a primary language. How do you explain the magic of what you do, and how much time does it take to learn your platform?
So to learn the basics of our platform, it takes a couple of minutes. We see people creating these pages actually truly in minutes from the time they get on to when they publish. And today, really, when you're talking to musicians, it's truly the best way to release new music, to sell tickets, to sell merch. It is actually the best way to market all of their content drops and anything else that they're doing today. And then also to be able to gate those experiences for their fans who buy their NFTs. So, today we really have folks coming in who are just general musicians who just want a better way to express their creative output and display their work, and they're really getting a ton of value out of it.
And do you find that do people get, I guess, when they, I guess, I don't want to say this, and I have to figure out an easy way to say this. I have found at my own conference that I did this conference called the Von 3 Summit in January, and it wasn't my intention to burst the bubble of Web3, but I was looking to be grounded and realistic to talk about where we're at versus where we want to be at and the opportunities in front of us. And as far as I could tell, if this is a baseball game, we're in the first inning. Maybe and with a lot to happen because of all it's the tech has to catch up to the reality. And I'm not talking about hype. I think just having a place to go now, which I didn't have 6 months ago comfortably, where if I sell NFTs for my own brands, and I can now say, okay, now go to this site and unleash the content. That's a great win. And it's just then the other trouble we all have is in language. It's like, how do I explain to people, because there's the issue of the wallet, right? So I teach NFT classes. Why? Because of the frustration I had last August when I went on OpenSea. So then I actually have 5 different NFT classes I started teaching, everything from NFT WTF to just sharing different elements of the economy together. And the idea of wallets, I mean, I blame some of my friends from the crypto world to use that term 10 years ago, because I think that the language needs to change at some level in order for mainstream adoption. That is to say that there are people growing up right now who don't think twice about these terms because that's their world, right? The same world where people live comfortably inside of Discord because they are gamers. But for people who are not from the of people of a different certain age, they might relate to the benefits, but not necessarily the interfaces. And so it's so today it's I don't know. I think it's a brave new world. We have lots of upside, and the internet to me is more interesting today than yesterday. Is there if you have some creators in the audience, do you have any questions for them that you'd like to? So I'm going to reverse it. Do you have any questions to the creators that you'd like to see them chime in on?
Look, I'd love to have a sense from you of, based on what you've heard, what are your big pain points around the types of problems that we're solving, and what types of features would you love to see us build?
All right, Benedict. Actually, I can't. I could ask to unmute. Actually, go ahead, Benedict. Go ahead.
Hey Kim, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So I've been using Telly for a few months now, and I really dig it. I think it's really cool. I love how you just kind of enlightened me a little bit more about the link in bio perspective of how to approach it. Number one thing I work in is film, and I love the fact that you have like a social, people background. But full screen video is something that I love for a landing page, and the GIFs don't allow me to have the sort of flexibility that I would love to use. So is that something that you're looking to implement?
Yeah, that's definitely something we've heard and is on our roadmap.
Okay. Is that something that I could code in, you think, based off of what you have set up now?
Well, so the way that folks will kind of use it today is they'll just make the video player as large as possible. So you can actually publish your page in a way where you can add video that ends up full screen for folks.
Okay.
So I'd say that's the best way to approach it today.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other specific questions? Harry, any questions? No. All right. Harry, why don't you bring Scott up and we'll have a little chat, the three of us. Kim, thank you, by the way. And I promise. Oh, by the way, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to reach you, Kim?
So I'm at Kim Nortman on Twitter. You can also find us at Telly Site on Twitter and every other social platform as well.
Great. Hey, Scott, do you have any specific questions?
It sounds fascinating. I can't wait to like actually like be able to look at it. I can't do that at the same time we're at this call right now. But I guess I'm curious about, it sounds like a website platform builder, kind of like Wix, but is there plans on the roadmap to integrate with things like WordPress or Squarespace, or are you competition, or like will that, because I know like my site is hosted on Squarespace, so a lot of platforms integrate, you know, with that kind of stuff. So I was curious where you see that.
Yeah, we're really built in a completely composable way. So when you get a chance to kind of dig in, you'll see you can actually, for 2,000 sites and apps, you can just paste in a link and it becomes an interactive widget that you have on site. We also have a custom code tile. So for sites that aren't supported in that way, you can just paste in the code. And for example, you want to have full checkout for your Shopify store directly on page, you can do that. So we support a tremendous number of other sites and apps in the ecosystem and have really been designed ourselves to play very, very nicely with the broader ecosystem.
Nice.
Wow.
I can't wait to dive in and check it out.
That is super cool. Kim, I thank you for being a guest. I am grateful for the work that you're doing and excited for the success of your business. Are there any partners, or is there anyone that we could? I mean, we know we have lots. Me and my friends here, we know lots of interesting characters. Are there any besides the artists that you're looking for to be users? Are there any types of other companies or other people that you're looking to connect with that we can be helpful for?
You know, we have such a great ecosystem of partners in the space of other like-minded companies that are also just trying to support creators to actually be able to make a living from their creativity. So right now we're, as you know, as you alluded to, we're really just, kind of curating communities of creators to get on the platform and to make great use of it and to give us feedback, and then to continue to grow our communities of musicians and visual artists and creators of all varieties.
I see, Terrence, my friend Terrence has a question for you. Harry, I don't know where Terrence is. Could you open Terrence's microphone, please? Still mute. Terrence, if you can unmute, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we hear you, Terrence.
Yeah, I was just wondering how international it is, Kim. Are most of the people you're working with and for, most of them based in the US, or is it global? How international is it?
It's global. We have a lot of international creators on the platform.
All right. It looks really good. I mean, it looks like a great website.
Thank you.
Great service.
Maybe Terrence will make it some music NFTs for you.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Well, Scott, thank you for being a guest here today. And if you want to catch Terrence is a regular at Jeff's Place on Thursdays over on our show. But I'm just, really happy to see. First of all, I embrace creativity. It's in the heart of what I do every day. And Scott, I wish you nothing but success in getting discovered as an NFT artist. And I hope more people will click through, see your stuff, and really, appreciate the magic that you bring. And Kim, thank you for coming. I have some ideas. I'll follow up with you offline. I think it's you're in a very magical space at the right time, and I think being able to both embrace the creators, the creator economy, and to provide a missing link that's been missing till now is pretty powerful. So I wish you unbounded success, Kim. Thank you for being a guest on the creator economy. I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of us and those who will see this afterwards. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you all. It was a pleasure.
Harry, thank you all. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Jeff Pulver, and the Creator Economy comes to you on Tuesdays. We'll be back live next Tuesday with another edition of the Creator Economy. Scott and Kim, thanks for joining us today, and have a great week ahead, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Thank you. Okay. So now we're off the air, I think. Kim, thank you.
Of course. This was fun.
Yeah, it was just fun. I didn't realize that you actually are doing the heavy lifting for the creators by helping them with the smart contracts. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So that'll be next couple of months.
Wow.